Documentation, basically the treasure trove of programming languages. If you don't lay your eyes on documentation, you will be stuck in tutorial hell forever. That's why it matters on how easily you can pick up a language by looking at its documentation. Because I'm gonna tell you what, if something is not looking like a good read, I understand you. I completely understand you if you don't want to learn a programming language when the man page is looking like an absolute shambles. And that's why the quality of documentation is really important when it comes to learning a programming language. That's why it's important to know if people can actually teach you the programming language well if you were to ask them a question. So I'm going to be putting these programming languages on a tier list based on how slick the docs were when I was reading them and how helpful I think the community is when it comes to helping you out. I'm going to be making more random ass yapper content like this, so if you guys can like the video, subscribe to my channel, join the cult, and once you do that, we can shoot the fuck off. Now, I don't think I'm a weirdo for starting off with Python, right? I have Python docs in my good books, right? Because it's basically the reason why I understand that nobody uses this fucking language as Python. Like, even the official docs tell you how to create an API between C and Python because no one wants that Python runtime. Nobody wants to see hello world being printed 1,000 times within the span of what? 85 seconds. Like, what the fuck do you mean that half of the, 70% of the libraries out there are written in C? Nobody wants to use this language. No one wants to use this language, but people want to use the syntax. I feel like the Python documentation shows how hard people have worked to laze the fuck off when it comes to writing code. Okay, yeah, cool. Python syntax is simple as shit. But do we actually write Python code? No, we just don't. You can ask all the AI ML motherfuckers who use Python, myself included, and all of us will answer, yeah, we use fucking TensorFlow, we use PyTorch, we use Sklearn, and guess what all those are written in? Yeah, exactly, not Python. And you can figure this shit out quite quickly because everybody will be preaching the exact same thing that I just said. Every single part of the document will say that this is written in C and this is written in the most optimized way we can have in the Python language, just barely. So you know what? Overall, I have no beef with Python's documentation. I'm gonna put you all the way up to goated for now. C++. Now this is where it gets interesting, and I'm going to clump together C++ and C together as a singular bit of documentation because their man page for both languages is literally the same, right? It's literally a singular page of the website that you can describe as the great uncle, is the product of his time. Look at this shit. You don't see this kind of formatting in a modern website at all. You can tell that this website's design has not been updated for 30 years minimum. But I'm gonna tell you what, right? C and C++ are like the great uncles. And okay, as much as the man page looks like this, I actually like this kind of design because the language, the entirety of the language, you can check out with this singular page, right? You can go to any section right here. It's all compacted into this block of text, and the fact that you don't have to scroll as much as all the other man pages for the other programming languages is actually why I kind of like this. Is this a hot take? Do people get thrown away by the fact that the website looks old as shit? Bro, I actually like this. I actually really like this because it's so it gets to the point, it gets to the point real quick. I mean, to be fair, it might just be because the C language and C++ aren't the biggest of programming languages in terms of the number of stuff you have to remember. Okay, you know what? Let's start including external library documentations, right? I've touched around the Raspberry Pi Pico a little bit, and the documentation for their SDK, I mean, it's what you'd expect from Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is actually just goated when it comes to documentation. It gives you the step-by-step guide to literally everything. If you pick up this goated piece of hardware, there is no excuse of you not reading through any of this, because I'll tell you what, no YouTube tutorial is going to get you into setting up Raspberry Pi better than the Raspberry Pi docs itself. And the same goes for its SDK documentation, right? Oh, what about Unreal Engine? The last time I used Unreal Engine was actually when I was like 11, so like fucking like almost a decade ago. But I do remember it being fine. I think I saw something similar to like the Unity docs, but I don't remember too much from it. Okay, the biggest advantage that you have when it comes to learning C++ or C is that if you go to any online forum, if you go to Stack Overflow or any programming based Discord server and you ask a question about low-level programming in C and C++, you're going to be meeting some of the great sages of programming. You're going to meet these oracles that will literally give you like the entire spell tome of troubleshooting your code, right? It doesn't matter that the C language is dog shit when it comes to memory safety. When one random ass guy on the Discord server, or literally just like a deleted user from Reddit, I think this language is like where the meme comes from. The meme where like the random ass deleted Reddit user from 13 years ago has a better answer than like any AI could give you, because people who know this language really well are like the most goated and cracked of people, and you should get you should just lay your hands on this language, because you will meet the greatest people and you will pick up the language in a very nice way. I'll put this in generational read, right? Actually, you know what, let's change the tier name, because I think how nice the C and C++ docs are comes 70% from the people, from the community. Okay, you know, yeah, I'm just gonna rename this shit the Bible, because you literally get like Jesus Christ telling you that, oh, you wise young one, Gdscript or Godot. Now, because this is like this is getting to like the open source motherfuckers out there, it is not like the most well-known language, right? It's like when you think about programming, you wouldn't think about Gdscript, because Gdscript is so damn bespoke to its own game engine, and you will not be using Gdscript on any other kind of platform. But that is not to say that the documentation, the docs page, is like the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because when you make a programming language based off of your own game engine, you can make a documentation where the language is directly related to the game engine itself's documentation and vice versa. So when it comes to learning Godot in general, the docs will carry you 0 to 100. Okay, but that said, like I think tutorial videos do help. Okay, the only downside with Godot when it comes to picking it up is that there aren't a crazy amount of tutorials out there, like especially when you compare it to Unreal Engine, because they've got a much larger following, so a lot of their tutorials in the form of videos gets updated frequently. Godot's got like the open source niche kind of community, but it's also quite big. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's quite big, and you'll find some nice tutorials, but when it comes to like real specifics, that's when you have to dig into the documentation yourself, right? But like I said, you will have no problem digging through the documentation at all. You're gonna find, like, the moment you find the node name, the moment you find the class name of something that's relevant to what you're trying to implement, and then slap it into the search bar of the Godot documentation, you will have an absolute blast reading through all that shit. I'm kind of scared that I'm glazing the Godot too much, because it's like literally the game engine that I use as of current, and it's like the programming language that I use the most at the moment. So you know what? Just out of that fear, I'm gonna put you on Goated, but I'm gonna put you above Python, because yo, I'm gonna be real with you, I fucking hate Python. Java. First of all, I personally don't have beef with the language itself. I've actually gone through the docs. I've actually gone through the Oracle OCA qualification book, right? I went through the entirety of it, and I never took the exam. But I do want to say that is Java's like standard library. Java's standard libraries are like really damn nicely built. Like I can see that the JVM was like a really nice baseline for the entire language to work around, and it does a lot of things. It does a lot of things when it comes to software development. But I can't lie with you, I just have this weird feeling that Java is really gatekept. Okay, you learn the language. Okay, you have this 2-week phase of Java effects, and you realize that it's dog shit. And then now what? Now what? Like for the previous 3 languages that I've mentioned, right, I didn't have to dig too much into their documentation, into their community to see what these languages are actually purposed for. But Java, every single Reddit forum that I've dug into so far on the use cases of Java, motherfuckers have just said, oh, software development, oh, web development. Bro! That doesn't tell me shit! That doesn't tell me shit about the language. Like, is it just me that feels really gate-kept from this language, even though apparently it's like the backbone of 50% of the softwares or like 50% of the websites out there. I can't see it. I can't see any of that. It's like saying that, I feel the equivalent of saying that, oh, India's taking over about 1/7 of the entire world population, but then it's nowhere shown in media. That's like the same kind of feeling I'm getting from Java. I don't see that many of those motherfuckers out there. But I also understand that this has also got a lot of my personal bias into it. So I'm gonna not put you in ass, but I'm gonna put you in readable, because I have read your stuff. I have seen through the whole of like the standard library of this language, and you know what? It wasn't a bad read. So I'm gonna put you in readable. C#. Now C# I have even less of an experience with, so I don't know if I should be talking about this language at all. The only experience I have with C# is when I was using Unity, when I was making a game for my A-level final project. So the only thing I've actually put my eyes through were the Unity documentations. And I can't lie with you, I think I had the worst experience digging through Unity docs. I don't know. Okay, yeah, it does tell you everything. It does give you all the information you need, as all of the documentations should do. But opening Unity docs feels like domain expansion infinite void. Like, you get blasted with so much information all at once. Maybe it's just me, but I don't like the tab spacing. Like, bro, why would you not center your text? Why would you not center your documentation text in the at the center of the website? That just like makes absolutely no fucking sense. Like, I really don't like the layout of Unity. But I should be talking about C# right now. C#, I actually did not have to look at like half of the docs for, because I picked up Java before C#. So I just treated C# as the same thing as Java. Oh yeah, the community, right? I think it's got a very nice community, you know. C# got the .NET framework. It's got Unity, like I said, and a lot of people are like nicely experienced in those two. And yeah, you have like a clear path of learning C# in like the more practical ways than Java, at least from my experience. Okay, I changed my mind. The official Microsoft docs for C#, the language itself, is actually fine. It's just the Unity problem. You know what? I treated you poorly. You know what? I'm gonna put you on actually good. I'll put you on actually good. Rust. Now, before I say anything about the documentation, I'm just gonna say that Rust is like overrated as fuck. People say that it's like it mogs C++ in every single way. No, it fucking doesn't. Like, now Rust is like the grandchild of C. It's probably like the newest low-level programming language that I know of, or like lower level programming languages. If you want to be specific with the definition of a low-level programming language, you fucking nerd, then okay, I'll just say it's one of the newest lower level languages. Let me talk about the documentation here, right? I think Rust is the only language where getting into does not require a YouTube tutorial, like any kind of YouTube tutorial. Because literally within their package manager, right, within Cargo, you can literally get yourself into Rustlings or Rust Playground. It is literally in the homepage of the Rust documentations. All of these tutorials by example kind of stuff. And you know what's even better? The compiler tells you literally everything. The compiler carries you through your entire Rust journey, because not only does it get really specific with the error messages, it gives you potential solutions that actually work out. Okay, I did say that Rust is overrated and a lot of people are glazing the language too much, but I also do understand why people glaze it. It's because it doesn't just go, oh, segful, oh, you just got a segmentation for, oh, undefined behavior? It doesn't give you all that shit, right? Instead, what it does is that it sits you down. It sits you down on a nice comfortable seat and says, hey, this specific part of your program is not working in this specific way. But we got a potential solution that might work, and it just does. It just does work. You just copy and paste. Bro, imagine you living in the future where you copy and paste code from the error console. Like, hello? And while since Rust is a new language and like a lot of people are still figuring out whether this is like the C killer, the C++ killer, or whatever the fuck people want to call it, right? Rust's documentation has learned from all the flaws of the older programming languages. Also, I can tell that's why the Rust by example exists. That's why Rustlings exists. Because some people, myself included, right? We don't want to read. Some people out there, we just don't like reading, okay? We just want to avoid reading as much as possible, and that's why you got these practical examples, innit? But then you end up reading a little bit of the docs, right? I can't lie with you, going through the Rust docs, unironically, felt like YouTube Shorts compared to all the other documentations out there. I can't lie with you. They're right there, I don't know, their way of like writing shit down is like slick. People have also learned from the base Rust documentation and built even better docs. Like if you ever come across touching Bevy, you will read through that shit like you're reading the entirety of JJK. Okay, maybe that might be a bad example for some people who don't like JJK. Okay, maybe it's the same kind of feeling as watching Harry Potter or like going through a Duolingo lesson, you know, that kind of simplicity, you know. Bro, Rust is like the potential, man. Like as overrated as it is right now as of the moment, it is the potential, man. So I'm gonna put you in the Bible. And with that concludes the tier list of programming languages with the best documentation. Now, I really want some absolute coding guru with 15 plus years of experience to shit on my current tier list. So if you're one of those guys, then pop down in the comments, let me know, because those kinds of knowledge sages I have mad respect to. And if you got to the end of this video, you gotta hit me that like button, you gotta hit me that subscribe, you gotta hop in the train of my random yippity yappers, you know. Every single video I post you can probably use while you're having your nice little dinner break, or like as background noise of what you're like, whatever you're working on. I'm gonna be trying to post a long video every week, and I'm gonna be posting shorts almost every single day. But with all that said, I shall see you next time.